Golden Horseshoe, canceled. Club Pixar, canceled. Doctor Strange, canceled. That's the news coming out of the Disneyland Resort these days. Cancellations. Is this just a continuation of Disney's apparent policy of entertainment being the first thing that Disney cuts when looking to save a little money? Or is this a response by the Disney company towards the newly formed union representing entertainment cast? And the answer may not be what you think it is. There's that mystery. Then there's the news that Disney has paused Magic Key sales. Paused. Why? Especially considering they've been going out of their way for the past few months to sell Magic Keys. That one is even tougher to figure out. But let's get back to those show cancellations. A while back, Disney quietly canceled what meager entertainment was left at the Golden Horseshoe. There was no news break, no announcement. One day we had a piano player at the Golden Horseshoe. The next day, we didn't. I stopped at the Golden Horseshoe last Friday as part of our construction update to remind our viewers and anyone else watching that there is still no live entertainment, and this is a total travesty for a dining location that is a part of the literal history of Disneyland because of its live entertainment, and definitely not because of its okay chicken strips. I hate it. It's terrible. The Golden Horseshoe deserves a show. But that event seems to be just the beginning of what is now an array of cancellations around the Disneyland Resort. Monday, we learned that Disney had decided to abruptly cancel all live entertainment that was part of Club Pixar at the Hollywood Backlot. The show is part of Pixar Fest, an event that is scheduled to go on into August. But Club Pixar got canceled. Well, actually, the entertainment portion of Club Pixar got canceled just 1 month into Pixar Fest. There's still 2 months left to go. But then there's the real shocker. Yesterday, we got news that Disney was permanently canceling the Doctor Strange show at Avengers Campus. The last show for Doctor Strange at the Ancient Sanctum will be June 30th. So, what's going on here? Is this all part of a Disney master plan to cut entertainment, which, by the way, is bad all by itself, or is it something possibly worse? The piano player at the Golden Horseshoe, he's a delight, but I'm not really sure he moved the needle in a place known for its live entertainment. In fact, having no show there now at the Golden Horseshoe is probably the only possible destiny for that location, given Disney's history there over the last 40 years or so of diluting the quality of entertainment at the Golden Horseshoe. That's a whole other conversation, which I don't want to get into, but it's interesting to say the least. Let's get back to Club Pixar. The live entertainment portion of that show was cut abruptly after just 1 month. We said from the very first night that the stage shows were kind of weird and kind of unexpected. That's not what we were thinking we would be getting. I'm sure a lot of people thought, or at least hoped, that Club Pixar would at least approach or be similar to shows that happened in that same location in the past, Mad Tea Party and Electronica. Those were, legendary, historic shows that people have great fond memories of. It was not, really, really not like the Mad Tea Party or Electronica. So while I'm kind of surprised that they actually did pull the plug on the live entertainment, because that's kind of an admission that those shows were not very good, I'm also not surprised because those shows were actually not very good. I am a little more confused by Doctor Strange. It's not a masterpiece by any stretch. It's kind of routine, lacks a bit on the repeat viewing scale, but it's still enjoyable, and as best as I can tell, was still drawing at least a decent crowd. Last time I went by and there was a show going on, the house was full, and that's just a couple weeks ago. So why cut this show now, especially when it has been billed as a key part, a promoted part of the overall Avengers Campus experience? It's supposed to be more than just the 2 rides that they have there. The talk on social media was that this was a response by Disney to the newly formed union that represents certain entertainment cast members. That union represents park characters and those casts that are involved in shows like Parades and Fantasmic. What people were saying was that rather than working with or negotiating with this new union, Disney just said, you know what, we're just going to kill some of those entertainment programs altogether. Well, the problem with that idea is that the marquee entertainment in this discussion, Doctor Strange, he's not part of the new union. He's part of the old union, a union that has existed for years. Same for the Club Pixar performers. Same for the piano player at the Golden Horseshoe. The cast that the new union does represent are the characters that you see in Fantasmic, a show that has recently been brought back. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange himself is not actually, they haven't ended Doctor Strange. He's still there. They've just ended the show. You can still, or you will still be able to meet Doctor Strange at Avengers Campus after the show ends on June 30th. He'll just be mixing in with the rest of the characters in the land. So I guess what I'm saying is, while the decision to end these shows, to cancel these shows, is certainly bad for park guests, it's not for that reason. It's not because of the new union. So there's that, though I will say that Disney does certainly have a long history of not playing well with unions, going all the way back to the Walt Disney era, prior to Disneyland even being in existence. Today, it would seem that the real reason why Disney is canceling those shows is that they're probably not very good. Again, another story. Today, it appears that the real reason why they canceled those shows is something far more simple: to save money. Not exactly a heroic reason, but one nonetheless. With respect to Doctor Strange, the real question is, what now? Is this a permanent thing? If so, what will happen to the Sanctum? Will it just sit there vacant? Or is that going to be a meet and greet space, a very expensive and well-detailed meet and greet space? Seems like a waste, but then Disney has had no trouble wasting all kinds of space in other parts of the park for years now. Stage 12, Stage 17, Innoventions, Tomorrowland Theater, soon the Fantasyland Theater. Yes, soon. In August, when Pixar Fest ends, there will be no shows, nothing happening at the Fantasyland Theater. There are no shows scheduled, and there's no rumored shows, nothing planned for the Fantasyland Theater. It will be vacant also. But having said all that, the lesson here isn't about Disney finding lesser quality shows to cut in order to save money. It's why they haven't cut everything, obviously. Shows like Fantasmic and Magic Happens the Parade, even shows like the Dapper Dans. Those are all here because they're great, and the guest feedback is very good on those shows as well. The lesson here is maybe Disney needs to stop making subpar shows that need to be cut. Club Pixar is the very definition of a poorly conceived and cheap effort. They need to do better, or just don't do it at all. I'd rather they not have had that entertainment at all at Club Pixar, instead of making a bad product and then cutting it. It's not a good look. It's not, for a company that needs wins, that's not a winning strategy. Do better or don't do it at all. That's the lesson that I think needs to be learned here. And finally, I will say that this is a developing situation. This is not the end of this story. There could be more cuts. In fact, there already have been other cuts. For example, a less observed casualty is that the Avengers headquarters show, Avengers Assemble, that's now running just 5 days a week. Storytelling at the Royal Theater is now open just 4 days a week. Nobody's talking about that. And so while Disney not cutting this entertainment due to the unions, that's a good thing. This is still a very bad situation. Either because they're making really bad show, or they're cutting good show just in an effort to save a little bit of money. In either case, it's bad for guests. Guests are being asked to pay a premium, and they're not getting a premium product. I feel like that's apparent. And it's confusing to me why this isn't more apparent to Disney. Or maybe it is, and what's confusing is why they seem to be okay with that. Also confusing, Magic Keys. We couldn't buy one for a very long time, and then out of nowhere, a couple months ago, they start selling them again. And for a while, like I said, it's been a few months now where they've been selling Magic Keys nonstop. I thought Disney was back in the AP business again. But then, again, out of the blue, Disney just decides to pause all Magic Key sales. All of them. One day, there's a sign out front encouraging guests walking into the park to upgrade their single-day tickets to a Magic Key. The next day, there isn't. And it's with that news that I'm now beginning to realize I have no idea what Disney is doing. I have no idea what strategy it is that they're trying to execute. Certainly they have some kind of plan. I just don't know what it is. I thought that Disney reopened those Magic Key sales because they were trying to stimulate attendance because they're working on the Haunted Mansion and Splash Mountain and Critter Country. Those areas, that whole section of the park is closed, and they're trying to entice guests into the park while that's happening. Obviously, that could be a reason why they're also selling the discounted ticket. Attendance is down. That seems reasonable, so why stop now? Is it because of that discounted ticket offer? Those are on sale now. They've been on sale since May 29th, and the first day that guests can start using those tickets is coming up in just a few days on June 10th. Great deal, very popular. The parks popped when this happened the last time. Or is there perhaps a change coming to the program? Are they going to change the blockout calendar? Is there perhaps a new ticket they're going to start selling, or a new Magic Key? Or maybe they're going to do a price increase, and you want to pause things to give people a chance to, be ready again for that? Because it would be weird to sell a key at one price and then the next day you change that price, although that's the way they've always done it historically. But perhaps that's what they're trying to prepare for. I don't know. Any or all of those could be a reason. So stay tuned, by the way, to FreshBaked, because we'll be watching this very closely. Stay tuned also to FreshBaked on our main channel for our coverage from the parks to see how the crowds change after the discounted tickets start showing up. You can find those updates in our State of Disneyland report and our State of DC report. Watch that show if you haven't already on our main channel, State of DCA, or watch our planning guide for July. That's coming up next month. Otherwise, until next time, be safe out there, be kind to one another, and fresh baked.